Hi, good morning everybody. Welcome to another glorious Hump Day Wednesday, June the 15th, 2022. Episode 751, Part 1. Today, we're in the next, we're back. We're going to be starting with another God series video, number 46. It's all about God series video 46. And we're also going to be adding this one to the Psalms Choices of Life playlist. Because we're starting with a Psalms passage, and it'll be put into there. So we're having It's All About God and the Choices of Life Psalms playlist. But today we are talking about delight in the will of God. Beginning with Psalms 40, verse 8. Compiled from Henry M. Moore. So if you're excited about another glorious Hump Day Wednesday, smash the like button. How do you delight in the will of God? Subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, share the video and channel with your family and friends, and help me reach a reasonable subscriber mark by episode 800, which is now 49 days away. And help me reach 100 subscribers by the calendar-wise end of summer, which is the middle, sometime in September. Usually when the fall season is supposed to start. So you have until then to get me to 100. So any help would be greatly appreciated. But delight in the will of God. It's All About God, number 46, and also the next entry in the Psalms Choices of Life playlist. Delight in the will of God. Psalm 40, verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So this remarkable testimony of David is actually also a messianic prophecy, fulfilled completely only in Christ. So only as Messiah could he truly say, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me. And I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. The works that I do in my Father's name, they hear witness of me. So those three phrases are actual verses, which were John 4:34, John 6:38, and John 10:25. So it says, my meat is to do part is John 4:34. I came down from heaven is 6:38, and the works I do in my Father's name is 10:25. So just put it that way. But also Hebrews 10:5 and 7 says, wherefore when he cometh into the world, he saith, lo, I come to do thy will, O God. But then it also says, lo, I come, in parentheses it says, in the volume of the book it is written of me. So his heart was attuned perfectly to the will of God, because God's law was written thereon. 2 Corinthians 3:3, not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. So even in the most trying circumstances to which any man could ever be subjected, he could pray, Luke 22:42, not my will, but thine be done. And as he said in the Garden of Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane, let this cup pass from me, not my will, but yours be done. Remember that phrase he said in the Garden of Gethsemane when he was praying, just before his trial, death, and resurrection. So his arrest in the garden, basically, is what I was trying to say. But by the indwelling Spirit of God, we must also seek to make the will of God our greatest delight. We are saved solely by grace, but this is not to deliver us from the burdensome constraints of God's holy law. As in the case of Christ himself, he places his law in our hearts in order to enable us to love his law. Hebrews 10:16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. So then we learn, like the psalmist, not to resist his will, but to love his will and to delight in his law. And you can read about that in Psalm 119, verse 97, 111, and 174, which says, Oh, how I love thy law! It is my meditation all the day. Thy testimonies have I taken as a heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. And I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. And you know, we've been reading Psalms in the Turning Point, in my Turning Point series. We just started June the 6th reading the book of Psalms every day, and it's been like multiple chapters every day. And let's see. We started out like we do about 8 chapters one day, 7 the next day. 4 was one. We read 4 in one day, and then we read 6 another day. And then by the 29th, we're supposed to finish up on the 29th of the month, and then the 30th start on Proverbs in that Bible reading every day. So by the end of the month, you'll be done with Psalms. It's just the way they've got it set up. I'm like, wow. It's so unreal how you get to read through Psalms that fast. And basically, you can read through Psalms. What? I don't remember. I don't remember if I had my little paperwork that I had marked every time I read it. But I read it multiple times during the year because I was reading Psalms and Proverbs every day for a whole year. So I read through Proverbs 12 times completely, because I would get up at the end of the month, and if it was 30 days, I would read the last day I would read 2 chapters. Because Proverbs, you read whatever day of the month it is, you read that chapter. And with only 30 days, you have 31 chapters, so you would have to double up on that last day. And then in February, whatever year it was, if it was a 28-day month, you read all the way up there and then read 28, the last 4 chapters to finish up the book. And then on March 1st, you jump back to chapter 1. So in a whole year, I read Proverbs 12 times. But then I read Psalms multiple times, because I would read I would probably read about 5 chapters a day, every day. I believe. I'm not too quite sure how I did Psalms, but I think I read multiple chapters every day, along with the chapter of Proverbs. And then I probably read Psalms probably 5 or 6 times during that whole year. Because there's 150 chapters, so If I read 5 a day, that's 15. That's 150 days, or not 150 days, but I could have read 1 chapter a day per day, and then when I get to the end, turn around and start reading it again. Not worried about whatever the number was to do it that way, but it is what it is. I tried it. I did it. I should have kept on going with it, but I just got out of doing it. But it is what it is. But here I'm doing this basically every day now, so I may be recording it. Sometimes I'm recording 2 or 3 days in one sitting, but it's becoming a daily thing. So it makes it look like I'm doing it daily if I do multiple. But right now I'll record the night before, the next days, and then the next days will go up. So I'm still doing it once a day. I'm just doing the next days ahead of time. But then the YouTube will see it. But sorry for rambling about that. So coming up tomorrow in your Blessed Thankful Thursday, June the 16th, episode 752, part 1, we're going to be talking about Be Ye Separate. Starting with 2 Corinthians 6, 17 and 18, all from Henry M. Morris once again. I think most of this book is Henry M. Morris, so it's just going to be several times. It's going to be different ones. Henry M. Morris III, and John D. Morris. Those are the mainstays in the book. And every quarter they've got 1, 2, or maybe 3 that's guest contributors. So you'll have those other ones pop up every now and then. So. But if it does pop up, then I'll have to jump to the front of the book to see whose initial that is, so I know which one to say. So. But coming up at 1 o'clock today, in your glorious Hump Day Wednesday, June the 15th, 2022, we're going to be learning about investing in others. I know in yesterday's afternoon video, I forgot to preview this one at the end of my video. Somehow I forgot to say something about it. But I'm going to go ahead and say I'm sorry about that, but I usually try to preview the next stage of my usually 3 videos a day, except for Saturday. I usually try to do the next video, the next Devo in line to come up. I usually preview that next one. So, but investing in others from Mike Whitmer, derived from Luke 16, 1 through 12. So stay tuned for that. I'll get to that in just a few minutes, but you'll see that at 1. With that said, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep on keeping on and trusting God, and He'll keep you safe in all you say and do in 2022 and beyond. And until later, God bless you, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.